Good morning. How you doing, Bobby?
I'm doing excellent. How you doing,
I'm
Ed?
doing good. Hey, thanks everybody for else watching. We appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You getting many people hitting you up for the new program, Cal Halfa?
I've had some questions about it. So I know a lot of people have been promoting it. Um,
That's just to get people in. You know that, right? So in the door.
yeah,
And
no,
I'm
yeah,
not negative. I mean, it's like,
no, it's
and
like, hey,
somebody else goes, well, that's another reason for me to call my client. Yes,
yeah,
I understand that. I don't need a reason.
but
Just call them, period. Call your people all the time.
yeah, it's a new product, so everyone's promoting it, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a great program. If we had more inventory, it'd be an amazing program.
Yeah,
Right, that's our only issue in a market where you don't have much inventory. um, Mike told me this week or last week, California normally has a 450,000 sales a year, and last year we were 257 or like right around 250 some thousand.
uh-huh.
That's almost half of what we normally do in California a
Yeah,
year. And if you think this year's going to be worse, because each year has been getting worse with people, just people who are going to sell now are, I'm leaving for a job transfer, I'm leaving the state because I don't like the politics. That's a lot less.
yeah,
So you're not going to have as much as we had over the last 3 years. That just makes it so much harder. So now if we only sell if that 250 something drops down to 200 even, that really going to hurt us.
yeah. Well, and I see the other problem is just like, what like we talk about, like lack of inventory, right?
Right.
So even if somebody wanted to sell their house and there was a developer building a new house, they still have to have some kind of incentive, like a lower rate or a rate buy down to move out of that house and purchase a new home
Right.
to free up some inventory. So
Yeah. And it's not just going to be one child, right, Bobby?
no,
I got another
who has
child.
who has one kid?
No, what I mean is I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house.
Yeah,
I have a kid in each room right now, and we have another one coming. Well, guess what? One of them's going to be sharing a room, whether it's a boy or girl. Right. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, and sometimes like
Instead of move up is what I'm getting at.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I have some folks who are like, hey, I really need like a 4 to 5 bedroom. By the way, it needs to be 550 or under. You know,
You're right.
It's like, well, that's a tall order. Our best bet is to find a house that someone overpriced to begin with, has been hanging out on the market.
Right. But those are even getting harder for, I'm hearing
Sure.
anything under the FHA price point, which is like 517 in our area, is it going to have multiple offers on it now.
Yeah.
So you need to get above that. Well, people don't want that payment above that with today's rates. But the positive thing is we're hearing May 10th is where we're going to see another major change in interest rates. That's what we're being told by our guru, Barry Habib, by the way. I'm not just, I'm not saying I came up with that. I've been seeing that, but I want somebody else to say it so I can blame them when it doesn't happen.
Yeah. So how much of a movement in rates is
Well, just like the last time was 1%, the major move that he talked about last time, which we all kind of talked about. And then, so hopefully supposedly we're going to see a decrease in inflation. But the only thing that could throw all that off right now is OPEC cut their productions per day by 1 million plus barrels to get the price from $70 a barrel up to $100 a barrel is what they want a target of. Well, that's going to cause more inflation at the pump, and the pump prices are going to go back up. Not that they came down that much in California anyway.
Yeah, I filled up at 475 this morning at Arco with the cheap gas, man.
Well, but the worst thing is I could go some other state and fill it up so much cheaper. I don't want to get into that. We did a whole show last week on the radio about it, where most of the cost is in the crude cost, not the refinery, not in getting it to the pump, and not the people at the station. That's not where the money is. The taxes are about almost over $1 or close to that, or it just depends on. They said it was under that, but I swear it's more than that.
Yeah.
And so those costs are going to increase inflation costs, which then could have a negative side of, even though rates drop, the rates could try to go back up because of that with the bonds. They're just like get all nervous, and now rates are going to go back up. We don't know. There's too many unknowns, right? And the political climate right now, the look over here, look over there, don't look at this. Trump getting his new campaign poster picture today. Today's Tuesday. He's being arraigned today.
I was gonna say, I guess I missed that, man.
Well, no, they're gonna take. Of course, they're gonna take his picture when he's like, and then that's gonna be everywhere. Oh, and that's the problem. We just too focused on all these other things instead of just let us live our lives and let's focus on our family.
Yeah. Well, as you see, man, I didn't catch that, right? Because like I hadn't checked the news in the last couple of days. So
I just, when I this last weekend, I was outside working all day getting it ready for the summer because, we put a pool in. There's a lot of stuff that I still need to do that we, like I said this week, it's like we moved to Seattle lately because how much rain we've been getting.
Yeah.
And you couldn't do much, right? It just seems like, okay, it's pouring out there. I'm not going to go build something in the rain. Now I can. But then you got next week, we're supposed to be in the 80s at the beginning of the week. I don't know if it's still that way. That's how I saw yesterday.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I mean, all of a sudden now the pool's ready. Let's get in.
Yeah. Like I say, you're going to get to really enjoy it now, right?
Yeah, of course. And, it's just one thing after another, getting ready, cleaning up certain things. Because, we did a remodel of the bathroom and a pool. So our house was not want to say tore up, but things are everywhere instead of where they need to be. So
yeah. I know the feeling, man. Trying to live in a construction zone is difficult.
What are you working on now? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were working on something that's besides your car.
I always have some project I'm starting or finishing at the house, but I'm working on the car right now.
And how much further do you got to go on that? Did you paint it yet?
No.
So you're still prepping?
Yes.
Yeah. That takes forever. That's the most important part.
Well, man, I haven't even put any sandpaper on it, right? Because I'm replacing both front fenders, the hood, both doors, and the trunk lid. So pretty much everything.
So the frame's going to be original.
Yeah, the rear quarter panel's staying, right? But all this stuff is like aftermarket. It's made in Taiwan, right?
Oh, really?
You can't find any original parts, so
it's not perfect.
Getting them to line up, you got to work it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it's too hard to go find old ones that are perfect, and they're probably too expensive too.
Oh yeah, and the reason I'm replacing all the stuff on mine is because it's old. 60 years old. It had just rust going everywhere.
No, I used to go to that swap meet in Turlock with my grandfather every year and go out there because he did T-birds.
Okay.
And there were tons of them all over his property, stealing parts from this one. We need the motors for that window and this one over here. Yeah. So I'm used to that, and I enjoyed going to those. That was fun. That and the tractor shows.
Yeah.
All right. Enough about our history. So the biggest thing, rates, we're going to see a drop in May 10th. Don't wait to get in contract, because that just means, I heard the other day there was 37 offers on a property that was under 400,000. That's what we're going to see more of, because we just don't have the inventory. You're going to see a lot more offers. Yeah. This program, the shared equity program that's out there, whether it's a good program or not, whether it works for you or not, the only thing it's going to do is increase more people coming out to try to buy a home, and then they're going to be overbidding on them. That program won't let you overbid on them. So you're going to I just feel that they're going to get frustrated with it. And I could be wrong. There's a lot more homes in Stockton for sale. So go up there and try that up there. But in Modesto, Turlock, when there's extremely limited inventory and series, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, geez, inventory, we're kind of back to where we were, where it's flying off the shelf if it's priced right,
Right.
There's only a couple properties I've been seeing for the last 6 months, and that's just because they're just way overpriced or in a bad location.
So if you're going to have to use that program to buy in Patterson, or let's say, Denair or some outer skirts, look at USDA before you do have that program, because they don't want 20% of your equity until you pay them off. Yeah. The only problem we have that program we talked about before was potentially, if you get into that house and you buy it, and then all of a sudden your job wants to transfer you somewhere else and you have to move, and you can't sell the house. Because you don't have equity now, because now you have 5% equity and you don't have enough to pay off both loans and pay to get out of it, because then you're going to might have to do a short sale, which is not good. So just be careful getting into that program.
I think that program, looking at it for the people that have been trying for a long time to get in, or the people that didn't have all the funds. Another thing I've seen too is like, okay, well, now your purchasing power goes up, right? So you can get into a nicer home. Maybe one that
because you can go conventional on that, so you can go above everything.
And so then you can find that 4-bedroom house you can stay and grow in, and that's a good plan, right?
But then you still have payment you got to make. Yes, it goes up to 150 in our area. You can make up to 155,000, which is pretty good. Well, you need to make 100 anyway just to qualify these days on anything. So it will help, to where you're not out. You guys make enough money. It's just, does it work for what you're trying to do? And the other question is there more than one offer on that property than yours? Right. Yeah. I say, if you're in a house and you love that house, you have a landlord, reach out to your landlord. Hey, you want to sell this to me? Right. Because I want to buy a house and I'm going to be leaving. Maybe that's a great program for if you're in a house that you're renting. because they're not, they're going to give you first right of refusal. So do it.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, anything that's 400,000 and less is you don't need to put a sign out.
No, that's 517 and below. Anything FHA. So the problem, okay, so that program can go FHA or conventional. Well, if you're going FHA price point, you already got multiple offers in that price point. So you're going to have to go conventional, go above it, and then that program might work for you. But again, you have to look at the different scenarios. I'm not saying not to use it. I'm just saying it might cause more people to be frustrated. It's like when the government said, we're going to give you 15,000 to go buy a home. Remember that when they were saying that? And everybody's like, that's just going to make it worse out there because now we have multiple offers and you're giving people who don't have any money to go buy a house, and they're going to get in. They can't overbid on a house. They can only bid what they have. And it's a great idea. Great thought. I just think that it's just going to make a lot more people frustrated.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say it's going to stimulate, it's going to get some of those buyers off the couch and out there in the market again. But
we need that.
But well, I was going to say, but
we need more inventory. We need more houses. We need everything.
There's 300 million total set aside for it, and
I think 2,500 people. There's around there something.
Yeah,
like
I was going to say already more than 100 million of it's already been reserved. So that tells you how many people jumped on that loan program.
Well, they went in and got it pre-approved ahead of it. Now the question is, how many of that's going to get funded? And I'm sure there's certain ones that's going to work when they first jumped out, but there's a reason on that $390,000 or $400,000 homes, there's 37 offers. The question is, how many of that is equity share program?
Yeah.
Right. 15 of those offers equity share. That's what would be the question I'd like to know.
Yeah.
So if you're an agent out there and you got multiple offers on a property and like 30 to 40, whatever that number is, can you let us know how many percentage wise are that program? We'd like to know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be curious to find out.
Because I think it's just going to be a lot more. Yes, you can go conventional with 20% down. That would be a better offer than FHA in that price point, right? Technically.
Yeah.
Or just go up to a 525. Right? Because now you can put 20. Why would you go FHA with 20% down anyway? Because you don't have the credit, I guess. So yeah. So go conventional.
Well, and so that's the other thing too, right? Is like there's credit requirements. I think you have to have a minimum of 680 to qualify for that program, right? So we're talking about people that are qualified buyers, but just have a difficult time.
Right. And they here's extra money for a down payment. And once I go through the scenario with people and I explain to them, you have to give back 20% of your equity that you've earned. Mm-hmm. They don't like it.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I get it. If you're never going to be able to get into a home, but this allows you because you have a good FICO score, but no money, I still want to know where the closing costs are coming from. I'm sure that's the seller. Each scenario, because I've not done one of these yet, nor do I have any of my buyers approved to do them, but I have people who work for me who have people approved to do that program.
Gotcha.
So it's just my buyers aren't in that price point.
Yeah.
Or they don't need the help and they don't want to give up 20% of their equity.
Well, there was a listing over in, it was in Waterford, right? Mm-hmm. And they listed it low at 330 because they needed new carpet and it need carpet and paint and stuff like that, right? It was a rental for a long time. That house is still active on the market because they're getting so many offers. They're just, trying to start a bidding war and get this house up to, 400, 405, right? And it's like, man, if we can stay out of that price point, it's best because you're going to end up paying top dollar for a low priced house.
Right. Well, it's like I just had an appraisal come in and they said subject to, they had enclosed a porch, right? But they didn't finish one wall.
Really?
Yeah. It's like, people. Well, the worst part is if you're an agent and you're taking your clients to that and you see an enclosed porch and they've enclosed most of it and put sheetrock and insulation and they left one wall they didn't finish because they got behind on it, that's going to normally need to be done before it goes forward. Yep. Sometimes on just conventional, there's not an issue, but if it's FHA and they're going to ask it to be subject to.
Yeah.
So just remember that. All right. That's all I have for today.
Awesome.
We hit a few things for you. We were all over the place. Rates, Calhafa,
cars,
projects. Exactly. Working outside, weather, you name it. Swimming pools. Yeah, we're all over. All right. Make it a great day. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Bobby, for being here.
Thanks, Ed.
All right. Everybody get out.